Hey everybody, this is our second edition of Epiphany Digital Youth Ministry. So, here we go. It's Monday, March 16th, and we've got a lot to cover. First of all, I got some announcements I want to make. I want to encourage all my small group leaders to reach out to your teens and check in and see how they're doing, whether you guys are on a group chat or if you even just make a phone call and check in with the family and see how they're doing, how they're holding up. I think that would be very important to do. And then also I want to give every one of you a heads up that we're in conversation about the mission trips, and I'm going to send out an email giving you an update very soon here within the next 24 hours. And then also, I want to talk to the confirmands. I think that as far as confirmation goes this Wednesday night, we will do something like Facebook Live digitally, so be prepared. Wednesday night, 6:30. We'll do something, whether it's Zoom or Facebook Live, but we'll connect everybody, and it'll be an abbreviated lesson. We won't go the full time, but we'll be there and still have class. So I asked several of you to chime in and throw some questions at me. Anything you want to ask, whether it's theological, biblical, cultural, personal, I don't care. Ask me any question you want, and you can still send me questions. I only have a handful, so send me questions, and if you want to be interviewed, let me know, and I will get some of you in here, and we'll interview you and see how you're doing. But the question came in that asked, how does forgiveness work? This is a good question. We want to wrestle with how does that work? And I came up with a passage in Colossians chapter 3, verses 12 to 15. It says this. Paul is speaking to the church of Colossae, and he says, "Therefore, as God's chosen people, holy and dearly loved, clothe yourselves with compassion, kindness, humility, gentleness, and patience. Bear with each other and forgive whatever grievances you may have against one another. Forgive as the Lord forgave you. And over all these virtues put on love, which binds them all together in perfect unity. Let the peace of Christ rule in your hearts, since as members of one body you were called to peace. And be thankful." So a lot of great stuff here. This can really preach. First thing that I want you guys to get is that the characteristics that should stand out in us as Christians, he lists as compassion, kindness, humility, gentleness, and patience. That's who we are supposed to be. So when we have those characteristics within us, I think that the idea of forgiveness, of forgiving someone who's wronged us, it's much easier when we already have those characteristics as a foundation of who we are. Now, when it comes to forgiveness, there's two ways to forgive. And if it's somebody that you can talk to, that you can approach, say like a friend kind of wronged you and you're a little upset about it, you take on these characteristics, you go to that friend, and you talk to them. I know that's going to be kind of hard. Confrontation's difficult for some of you, and I get that. But it's good to clear the air and go to that friend and say, "Hey, listen, when you said this kind of hurt. It stung a little bit. I just want you to know that. And I want to clear the air with you, and because I love you, I care about our relationship." And in a good situation, they'll probably be like, "Oh, geez, I didn't even know. I'm sorry." And then you forgive them, and you move on with your relationship. And that's good. There's other cases, though, where it may not be so easy. You may not be able to talk about it because maybe that relationship has ended. Maybe people's lives have moved on. Maybe you've been really hurt by somebody, and it's hard to forgive. And I get that. And let me just say right now, if you're in a bad situation, if you're in a toxic situation where you're being hurt mentally, emotionally, physically, spiritually, sometimes the best thing to do is separate yourself from that situation immediately and get away. And through over time, you want to forgive. You want to be able to process that and forgive that person. I've had people in my past who have hurt me deeply, and it's not that I just forgive them and let go, but it's almost a daily thing, because sometimes those thoughts come back up again, and I have to let go, and I have to forgive and remind myself that Jesus forgave me for everything I've ever done, and I need to be an example of forgiving others. Even though we may not be able to talk it out, I still need to do that for myself, so that I can be a person that's not full of anger and bitterness and passive aggressiveness, but I can let go of that negativity and live into the fullness of my faith of being a person of forgiveness and compassion and kindness and grace. And then the last thing here is that Paul says that we need to be thankful. And we're living in a time that's kind of crazy right now. I understand. I don't know what's going to happen from week to week or month to month right now. And it can be unsettling for us as Americans, because we want our routine. We want our, just everything to be laid out for us. And as far as students are concerned, you guys have your, every minute of every hour kind of planned out for yourself, and now you've got all this time. And so I encourage you, be a person of forgiveness, be a person of peace, be a person of graciousness and kindness to others, especially in the time that we're living in right now. So with that in mind, I want to encourage you once again, send in questions. We've got some interviews lined up this week. We're going to have a lot of fun with that. And take care, guys. I love you. I miss you. I wish we could see each other. I will give you an air hug right now. Air hug, air hug. But I love you guys and miss you guys, and I want you guys to do well. Please call if you ever need anything. Please email me and let me know how you're doing, and I'd love to hear from you. So love you guys. Care about you. Be good. Thanks.